In our featured story today, Jim Cramer, a mad money maven over on CNBC, he has a warning for Donald Trump that could see us time travel from 2025 to 1987. You remember 1987?
This is 1987. January of 1987 started off with the Rolling Stones' Keith Richards inducting Aretha Franklin to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 3 days later, on January 6th, after the U.S. Senate voted 88-4 to establish an 11-member panel, Congress announced it was opening an investigation into the Iran-Contra affair, starring Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. On March 19th, Jim Baker called it quits, resigning as the chair of the Praise the Lord Ministry, or PTL if you want to get fancy about it, after admitting to a sexual encounter with church secretary Jessica Hahn. The Fox Broadcasting Company made its primetime debut on April 5th, airing Married with Children, followed by The Tracy Ullman Show, 3 times each. This was the first time since 1955 that there were 4 U.S. television networks with national primetime programming. And speaking of The Tracy Ullman Show, this would be the first time we would see a crude version of The Simpsons on April 19th.
Dad?
Yeah?
What is the mind?
Relax. What is mind? No matter. What is matter? Never mind.
Well, it sure seems that the more things change, the more they stay the same. I guess, we still have Homer Simpson, and we still have Oliver North. The duality of life. But in any event, Jim Cramer, he recently fired up that big control board on his show on CNBC, kind of like Rick and Morty. But apparently, one of those big buttons could trigger a time portal, or so Cramer's dire warning might suggest. As you're about to see, his very stern words won't fall softly on Donald's ears. But if Jim Cramer is right, it may be a Monday of historic proportions, thanks to the fallout from this.
Starting tomorrow, the United States will implement reciprocal tariffs on other nations. It's been a long time since we even thought of that. But we will charge them approximately half of what they are and have been charging us. So the tariffs will be not a full reciprocal. I could have done that, yes, but it would have been tough for a lot of countries who didn't want to do that. I'd like to see the chart if you have it. Could you bring it up, Howard? This is our great Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick. Thanks, Howard. So if you look at that, China, first row, China, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here. We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset? They will be, because we never charge anybody anything. But now we're going to charge. European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it.
Yeah, we had all of it. Now let's see what's left of it tomorrow. Because if Jim Cramer is right, it might be an historic Monday morning. It might be devastating to your retirement.
Or it might be the big kahuna. That's the one of October of 1987, where the market went down hard for 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it went even harder on a day we call Black Monday, where the market fell 22%. the president doesn't try to reach out and reward these countries and companies that play by the rules in the 1987 scenario, the one where we went down 3 days and then down 22% on Monday has the most cogency. We will not have to wait out too long, will we? We'll know by Monday. Fortunately, we had an excellent set of employment numbers today. At least it makes it less likely a crash will necessarily lead to a recession. But if President Trump stays intransigent and does nothing to ameliorate the damage that I saw these last 2 days, I'm not going to be constructive here. I will contain my anger, but only because I lived through 87, and in the end, I came out okay. I was in cash for the crash. I know what this feels like. Oh, and if Europe moves against our fabulous tech companies next week, then I will be furious. That I promise you, because it should not happen. None of this has to happen.
Yeah, none of this has to happen. No kidding. Sunday night panics, they should be about what? Facing the boss at work or studying for a test at school. Not whether you'll wake up tomorrow broken, busted, while the president basks in the glory of another fake golf championship as history threatens to repeat itself.
As the Dow Jones Industrials took off on a fear-fed freefall to close down a record 508.32 points, panicked traders worked through lunch hours in a desperate but losing attempt to keep up with tickers that rolled up an all-time high volume. CBS News business correspondent Ray Brady looks at this devastating day for the market.
They're calling it the Monday Massacre, the worst drop in Wall Street history.
I just came from inside and it looks like a madhouse.
It's so crazy. Nobody even expected it to be down this much.
Hour after hour today, wave after wave of selling hit the stock market. A selling panic, the professionals call it. By the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was in the steepest fall in its 103-year history, down more than 500 points.